I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and this is the opening round at the 2017 Hall of Fame Classic taking place on the Steady Ed Memorial Course. We've got a great card for you here today, and kicking things off on hole number 1 is Ashley Collins. Ashley finding some early wood on that right side of the fairway. A 2017 Hall of Fame inductee, Des Redding. And Des with a standstill tee shot going right up the gut. Downhill at 295. And your 4-time women's world champ, Paige Pierce, having no problems putting herself within range. Jessica Weese, the dominant forehand thrower, looking to catch a little bit of action, but doesn't find anything as it carries way right. And Ashley trying to mark up the birdie here early on, just past the pin. Jessica's going to be coming back at the basket after going past it and to the right. And Des has a good look at birdie, but needed about 3 more inches of power. Paige is going to straddle to the left and converts. What a great way to open the round. Of course, I'd like to thank Dynamic Disc for helping with the coverage here this weekend, as the Disc Golf Guy is covering FPO lead card, plus some bonus action throughout the weekend. And the PDGA National Tour is also concluding here at the International Disc Golf Center in Appling, Georgia. We're down with 1 hole, 53 to go. And looks like Paige gripped it just a bit much. And speaking of grip, you don't see this too often. Ashley going with a glove of sorts, and that's finding that right side gap. Hole 2 coming in at 375 feet, plays uphill. And Des was heading left, however it gets a kick back toward the fairway. Weese is going to switch things up, go with the backhand here. And great power, and stays very clean. This hole plays up and slightly left from right about there. That's going to need to fight hard left. She stays pretty clean, and you can see the basket up on the hillside. And a difficult run up, trying to get plenty of power. That looks like she's done just that. Forehand off the tee, also a forehand approach there by Ashley. Looked like an unforced error there by Jessica. Oh, and Des drawing metal from long range. Paige can't quite do the same. Jessica's got to look at a birdie 3 and squeaks it in. Not a bad start, going par birdie to open up the first 2 holes of the tournament. And Ashley not quite able to convert. Paige will walk away with the par. It is a very warm day out here on a Friday. It's approximately 9 o'clock in the morning as the women are getting started. They play the early tee times on Friday and Sunday, with the slightly later tee times on Saturday's round. Humidity about 91%. So Weese and Pierce with the lone 2 birdies here after the first 2 holes, and going again backhand right down the pipe. No problem for Jessica Weese. You see the tree that is down behind the basket. Significant amount of trees have come down. Zach and the rest of the crew here at the International Disc Golf Center have done a tremendous amount of work to get the course ready, with storms and hurricanes rolling through here recently. It's a great shot by Ashley. Des again with the standstill. And she's on this left-hand side just after throwing this shot all the way to the basket. Both Paige Pierce and I walked directly behind her to see, and that was a very tiny gap that she hit. And Paige's birdie attempt is just short, but Jessica's going to take her second birdie in 2 holes. Ashley's all but parked, looking at an easy birdie here. Important to go through your routine, make sure you're ready to go, and looks like a good way to convert for birdie there. We're moving on to the par 4, hole number 4, right now. As I said, hole 4 is uphill to the left, and Jessica manages to fight through just about everything. That's a great looking shot. Ashley trying to keep it tight to the left side, which is what you want to do.
Oh, God.
And Paige hits the left side, carries right toward the OB water. However, she's just going to be on the edge. She will be safe.
Yep, that works.
And Des says that works. Busting out an overhand. Looks like a great shot by Ashley. Paige is up near the water's edge and makes almost no progress. I think at that point she had said, I think I'm going to hit every tree on this hole, struggling to move up the fairway here on hole 4. Paige has thrown 3 before Des has thrown 2. And more tricks in the bag by Jessica Weese. That's a forehand roller. Ashley says, I'm going to try a little bit of an overhand pancake, put it on its back, let it slide to the pin. Des with a patent pending shot, as we call it. Another solid putt that almost looked like an exact duplicate of what we saw a few holes ago. Jessica Weese pars hole 1, but goes birdie, birdie, birdie on 2, 3, and 4. Little mental lapse there. Not quite enough power by Des. As you can see, some elevation out here. Essentially on the first 4 holes. Hole 5 is one of the most beautiful holes you'll find on the property. Playing back down a hill with water that can come into play. Then things actually flatten out for a few holes. We're in Wildwood Park in Appling, Georgia. So although hole 4 treated Jessica very well, not so much for Paige as well as Des, but not getting all the way out the gap is Jessica's tee shot. The basket is, well, we'll say just up and left of that spot. That's a great looking drive. This is considered a par 4. However, I believe Eric Oakley aced it during the mixed doubles held for Pro Worlds. Solid shot right out into the opening. And Paige, who has more than enough power, believe that's her Biofusion Defender.
Great shot.
Jessica's got to check her footing again with the downhill slope there. Puts herself right up next to where Paige is throwing her initial drive. This is the one hole on the course. They'll be playing to a red DGA Mach 3 basket. And that was a look for eagle by Paige. And Jessica's looking to line up what would be a par after this great start. Paige follows up the previous challenge, we'll say, on hole 4. The great birdie on hole number 5. Test with a little course maintenance, making sure everything's out of her stance, away from both of her feet. And a high right chain brings it in. Good catch there by the basket. Jessica with her high, lofty Anheuser putt. And Ashley just left to drop in. This should be a very good-looking birdie 3 on the scorecard. We'll move on to hole 6. Hole 6, one of the shorter holes we'll find out here today at 220 feet. This is a par 3. You can go up the middle as Des is doing.
Very nice.
Or you could go with the wider hyzer route taken here by Paige. Unfortunately, that's nowhere near wide enough. And looks like a little too much stability there by Weese. That's fighting out toward the water's edge. She'll be plenty safe. Paige goes with a kneeling forehand. See the lake in the background. So it looks like we're having a little bit more trouble than we should. Oh, wait. Stu Mullenberg. Nope. Hey, nope. Stu, not the place to stand. Nope. Nope. That's not any better, Stu. Yeah. We're shooting video here, Stu. And you're kind of in the way. Look what you did, Stu. You made Des miss. Oh, but dropping it in is Paige Pierce. She's staring that one down, making sure it's in the bottom of the basket. A beautiful backdrop out here. No wind to speak of whatsoever. Again, incredibly muggy with temperatures in the 80s. Looking forward to a dry weekend throughout, although a little bit humid, but I guess we got to expect that here in Georgia. (515 feet). This hole mimics somewhat of an S pattern. You need to throw it left to right to get started, and then ultimately you're going to go around a bend that goes from right to left. Paige looks to have put herself in a really good position. A forehand here can set up very nicely if you can get all the way out into the opening. Looks to be a pretty good shot there by Weese. Not around the initial tree. That's going to cost a stroke. And there's a pro move right there. Not a lot of action, so she ultimately has to just pitch out into the fairway. And we'll keep fighting from there. And Jessica didn't fully make the bend, so she's going with her back to the hole. And Des has put herself in a really good position here. Just looking to play that right to left. She does get caught up by a tree. And Paige also in a great position. You want to somewhat let this drift down toward the basket. And what a great shot there by Paige Pierce. Jessica can be aggressive. It plays downhill, going for the rocket leg kick. Oh, just a little bit of chain. Des is looking at a long attempt at birdie for the 3 here.
Yeah.
And count it. Weese with a solid comebacker. Plenty of strength, but not quite the angle. Ashley would love to be done with hole number 7 here. I can appreciate still going through the routine. It's easy to get frustrated and simply step up and throw. She goes through her putting routine. And making it look routine is Paige Pierce with a birdie 3 here on 7. Oh. Hole 8 is one of my favorite holes on the course. Straight up the middle, you have a ravine that plays through it. Not sure there's any water in there whatsoever, so it's just more of an obstacle in terms of your footing if you were to get caught up down there. Dry creek bed might be a better description, I guess, than ravine. Not sure if a ravine has to have water in it.
Find a way.
And going with an alternative route up the right side of the fairway. Des finds herself right in the center. Throws up toward the rock. She should be able to get up and down from there. And just a little forehand out and around. Weese draws front basket. Solid putt by Paige. Working hard for the 3 out here. Weese is in. Looks like Ashley's got about the same distance. Des Redding just inside that as well. Des, a 3-time women's world champ, 7 world titles here on the card. Very impressive. And for the first time in 8 holes, all 4 women card the exact same score. And you move into the second half of the course, just short of it here on hole 9. And it is no walk in the park. Hole 9 coming in at 700 feet. You need to throw it at least 325, if not a little bit further. You want to get as straight out as possible, and then you might have another straight shot toward the pin, which is at approximately, I'd say the 230 position if you're looking straight off the tee right here. So Paige has not yet made the bend. She's going to throw a forehand. Looks like she had it just a bit low. Tess with a standstill backhand with a gorgeous turn on it.
Like no Mando, you gotta.
Ain't nobody got time for a Mando here. And Weese slips right through the trees. She'll have a long look at the basket. She's a few hundred feet short yet, but in really good position. And Paige has also now made it around the bend. Feel like that tree might have jumped out on her. And Des using a run up here. Looks like she's pulled it to the right side of the fairway. Paige also with her back to the hole. She's got an EMAC Truth in her hands.
Great shot.
And that puts her up there at a good look at a putt. And Weese pulling out all the tricks. As I said earlier, there's a forehand roller. And just off the side of the basket, off the top of the tray is Ashley. See if Des can do what she did on hole 7. And she does. Apparently long-range putts are pretty easy today. And Paige, yeesh. We'll see if Paige can get it together for the back half. We're completing the front 9 of the Steady Ed Headrick Disc Golf Hall of Fame Classic, presented by Proactive Sports Disc Golf. We'll see you on the back side of this opening round. Thank you to Dynamic Discs for your support of the women's coverage right here with the Disc Golf Guy. We'll see you on the back 9.